Namaste everyone and good afternoon. My name is Divya Vanka and I'm a member of Akshayam Group. Akshayam was established in 2016 and is a team of Hindu young professionals of the Hindu Temple Society of North America. We volunteer at the temple to preserve the Hindu traditions and practices and engage in discussions to aim to build legacy for future generations. Akshayam will be hosting our annual conference, Anubhava 2023, on August 26th in Parvati Hall, 12:30 and onwards. The conference is rendered to explore and discuss ethical values and lessons on Ramayana in the contemporary world. We will be having guest speakers from Professor Vishwa Adluri, Professor Joydeep Bagchi, and Krishnan Ramaswamy on engaging some of these major topics. So currently, Akshayam also organizes the monthly discussions as part of the unique learning series. This is our 59th session, and I would like to invite today's guest speaker, Siva Shri Ravi Vaidyanaat, Sivachariar, the Director of Religious Affairs at the Temple. Sivachariar ji, may I request you to render a prayer before we commence the session?
Yes. Thank you. Namaste. Sadha Shiva Samarambham Sri Kantacharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Paryantam Vandhe Guru Paramparam Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnumayeti Sabdhita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Sahasraditya Shankasham Sahasravadhanam Prabhum Sahasradham Sahasrakram Prapadyeham Sudarshanam Arihi Om. Thank you.
Thank you. So before we begin our session today, I would like to give a brief introduction on the topic, which is symbols and signs in Hinduism. So in our faith system, to establish a connectivity with the Supreme Almighty, we use to visualize and feel its energy and vibration through physical or non-physical entities, whether in the form of a murti or in a formless form of an object, or an artistic image pictures with mentally invoking the divinity in it. In today's discussion, under Hindu Vedic perspective, we wish to learn on various geometrical formations that are being utilized and its benefits. Our guest speaker will elaborate and reveal the significance on few such forms and its utility. If viewers wish to seek more details on this subject, you may post your questions in the comments section. We hope to gain added knowledge on ways and means of seeking the divine grace for a happy and peaceful living. So if anyone is missing this live session today, you are welcome to view it later and at your leisure time through the Temple's YouTube or Facebook page. So now let us begin the session. I will start with our first prompt. So our first prompt, Sivacharya ji, can you please explain the concept of various geometrical formations that are being used in our faith system?
Yeah. Thank you, Divya. Thanks for a good introduction about the topic. So to understand the geometric formations in various Hindu perspective, let me first give how it is contemplated in Agama perspective. Agama reveals the Avyakta Murti concept, basically to visualize and experience the visual, invisible form of the supreme energy and its vibration. So when I say Avyakta Murti, there are two words in it. One is Avyakta, another is Murti. So let us contemplate and understand what is Avyakta and what is Murti. So Avyakta means the whole material energy. That is, when I say in the energy form, anything that could be observed or witnessed through our sense of organ and also our mind by awareness, even while it is not manifested. For example, I should be able to feel just by touching or just by looking. I should be able to feel the energy, anything. any object or non-physical entities, even when it is not manifested in any object. So that is what avyakta means. And of course, there is also other opposite to that is vyakta. Vyakta means that can be perceived, like what we normally see a physical entity. Whereas avyakta is just opposite to that, that which cannot be perceived in a particular form. So even Bhagavad Gita uses this concept of avyakta concept to denote the Brahman. So that means it could be derived in a formless form. So avyakta means, a simple layman meaning is, I could derive the murti in a formless form, or through a variety of geometric form which represent only the energy aspect without the physical manifestation aspect. So that's what we call as a avyakta. Now let us talk about murti, avyakta murti. So murti is basically, again, a layman understanding of a murti is, it's an iconic or an image representation, either as a form, manifestation, embodiment, or personification. Otherwise, so far we have been understanding murti means it should be in this form, but it can also be a formless form. A murti can also be uh, uh, understood through an unmanifested form, or a formless form. So that means the murti could be a fully manifested, or non-manifested, or partially manifested form. So we call it as in Sanskrit, rupa, arupa, rupa, rupam, or vyakta, avyakta, or vyakta, vyakta. In Vedantic language, it will be vyakta, avyakta, but in the Agama language, they call it as a rupam, or arupam, which is formless, or rupa, rupam. It could be partly rupam, partly arupam. So all these three are revealed in our Agama and Veda and Vedantic thing. Now let us talk about the Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad, if you look at the chapter 1, section 3 and verse 11, so you will see महतः परमव्यक्तं व्यक्तात् पुरुषः परः पुरुषान्न परं किंचित् सा काष्ठा सा paragatihi. So that means it says, beyond the sense or the objects, beyond objects you will be able to observe the mind, and again beyond mind is the intellect, and beyond intellects you will see the atma, and beyond the great atma you will, that there is an unmanifestation. That means after that there is no murti concept, it is only unmanifested, or physic, or only energy aspect. And beyond that unmanifest, or beyond the avyakta, unmanifest means avyakta, you will see purusha. Beyond purusha there is nothing, which is the parabrahman, or the supreme brahman. So that is how it goes. So that means when I talk about avyakta, the geometric formations, how do I look at avyakta in a geometric formation? Maybe it could be in terms of drawings, or it could be in terms of mystical diagrams, or like what we are going to discuss in this subject today, like yantras, or chakras, or mandalas, or astras, or mudras, hand and body posture. Like we used to say, body language. So hand postures, body postures, or body gestures, or such other symbols and signs, which are generally seen, utilized to represent a specific kind of energy. So we will be contemplating on each of these formation throughout this session. For instance, let us look at our inner human body. So there are 7 major nerve plexes in the upper part of the body. So these nerve plexus are referred as a bundle of intersecting nerves, or it is represented as gland, or a center of force and consciousness, which are located in these points. And there are 7 such energy or forces that are perceived as 7 principal chakras. In an again, we are going to show in avyakta form how it is. So just for our common man understanding, we call it as a chakras, 7 chakras, which are shown in colorful multi-petal wheels of light or lotuses form, or in some other, simply we call that as a chakras which cross over the whole spinal cord. It represents spinal cord starting from the at the most in the base of the spine. It is called as Mooladhara, and near the navel it is called as Swadhisthana, and near solar plexus it is called as Manipura or Manipuraka, and heart center it is called as Anahata chakra, and near throat it is referred as Vishuddha, and Ajna, which is between the eyebrows or the near the third eye, gateway of the third eye, is called as Ajna chakra, and Sahasrara above the skull, it is called, or the crown part, which is called as Sahasrara. So these 7 chakras are represented in a unmanifested form. So that means from the picture what you are seeing here, one could feel the Avyakta concept. So the diagrammatic formation of each of this chakras represents the idea of the actual center of force. And it is not a picture of actual center of force. It is not the picture of nerve plex, but it is the drawing or mystical drawing or a geometric formation which gives you an idea about all the center of forces in our inner body. So the chakras are shown in, you will see in each of the chakra, you see a different triangular symbols or a circular formats, and it is also circled within lotus petals. We will also discuss about, I'll explain about this in the later part of the session. But what happens is to understand or to perceive in Avyakta mode, one need to practice the appropriate yogasanas, postures, and then the mudras. So only then we will be able to appreciate why it is shown in a pictorial form or in a drawing form or a geometrical formation, so that we can understand or we will be able to feel the energy of those respective places. So that's about, you can see all other different chakras. See, there are different persuasion of each chakras. Okay, so this is to give you an idea about Avyakta concept. So now maybe we can go to the next question.
Yeah, so thank you for explaining the chakras, the various chakras. So our next prompt is, what is the meaning of yantra and why is it widely used in Devi pujas?
Yeah. Actually, it's a very good question that you have raised. Like chakra, yantra is another important, maybe for people who don't understand, yantra is a word which can be simply for a common man or for a layman understanding. Like we say yantra or yantram, that means a layman can understand yantra as an instrument or as an apparatus or as a machine. But in the spiritual angle, it could be a linear diagram. Even in an instrument, I can also explain about how a linear diagram is used. Basically, all these yantras or linear diagrams are used as a supportive object in doing some production of materials or even in our rituals and our real life applications. So let us see the root word of yantra in the source or root word in Sanskrit. Yantra is also referred as yantrati or yantrayati, meaning in both cases, whether it is yantrati or yantrayati. So it is being to restore or retain or restrain or to compel or bend in the context as an engine. So if you could assume an engine or assume a machine or assume an appliance, what happens in a machine or appliance, it simply conceives something, and it also it liberates something. So you have, which we in a common language we can say, there is an input to a machine and there is an output from a machine. So you give a power input, and there is something happens which we will contemplate about that, and then there is an output. In the same way, an yantra will, in a spiritual or religious concept, it will conceive and it also liberate something. So there are many type of yantras which we'll see now are found mentioned in our ancient text, including medieval work on science text, whether it is related to Vijnana Tantra or astronomy or architecture or any other allied discipline of science and literatures. You will see the concept of yantras are used.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say yantra, it also includes a chakra in it. It also includes mandala in it. It also includes an astra in it. In a religious or spiritual concept, I'll explain about this. So this is basically, as I told, yantra will sustain, will hold, and will also radiate the inherent energy. That is the main aspect. Why we use yantra? We gain some energy. Of course, energy doesn't get produced on its own just like that. So how it is produced, that one might have seen. For example, if I have to give a layman example, all of us are familiar with something called, in our computer there is something called as motherboard or a main board, is it not? So it is nothing but an electronic integrated circuit diagram, so which comprises of some microprocessor chip in it. You will find some ICs, you will find some resistor, you will find some capacitor in it. You will also find some anode, cathode. So many components. A layman may not understand why so many components are embedded or assembled in a small plate. And if you turn the plate, you will find all these are connected with each other. All components, whether it is chip or IC or resistor or capacitor or anode or cathode, everything is interconnected. But for a layman, it looks very complicated. So that is in a, for example, I gave you in an electronic integrated circuit. Now, in the same way, you look at an yantra, which is I will give an assumption of, take a small copper plate, a square or rectangle or circular copper plate, or a silver plate, or a gold, made of gold plates. There are some geometrical form which is drawn or etching. It is also done by etching, or it is drawn using a metal. And this geometric form, plus there are some mantras written in it. There are some alphabets. Okay, for layman, I'm calling it an alphabet, but these are all not called really as alphabet. It's called as bijakshara, or a mantra, or a seed syllabi, or the root words, or some phrase which a common man may not be able to understand. So such a thing, it is similar to your electronic circuit. It may look complicated, but there are a lot of mantras and bijaksharas are inscripted on these plates. And there are also sometimes these, not only a plate, and also a three-dimensional object which is carved out of a stone or on a metal. Okay, that is also used. So these geometrical formations, what I was explaining, it involves some points, it involves some lines, it may involve some triangles, like how you saw in chakra. In yantra also, you will find some triangles, you will find some circle, you will find some square, all those things you will find. But if I explain you further, then you will understand why the yantras are almost similar to a machine or apparatus or such system. All this thing represents some kind of energy in different modes, in different application. And like how I said, in a machine you have an input and there is an output finally. Similarly, in this yantra, you will also have a bindu. Bindu is the focal point of the corresponding or representing the focal aspect of the energy. Of course, the lines which are drawn in it denotes the movement of spirit or line of energy. Of course, then the triangles represent or it describes the aspect of energy or spirit. So what is the aspect? What is the attribute? all those things are represented in an yantra, and purpose basically is to focus the spiritual or mental energy, mentally to perceive an energy from it, which are people who are involved in meditation and sadhana. They will be able to understand this easily. Similar to in a machine or apparatus, what happens? There is a mechanical action is happening between the components, or there is a and then output, as I said, the bindu, the focal point. Here, what is the output? It could be a potential energy, or you could derive a kinetic energy, or you could derive any other. If it is a chemical components, a chemical energy, or electronic signals, current, or whatsoever, all such energies are produced or able to be liberated out of this machine. That's why I said it sustain, it consume, and then it liberates. So that is how the function of an yantra. Now you asked the question about why these yantras are more used in Devi pujas. Yes, you are right. You rightly said yantras are basically a central image in any Devi worship under the Shakta principle. So it is a multi-dimensional figure with the 9 layers of interlocking. You will see in the picture a lot of triangles in it. Basically it depicts a Shiva Shakti manifestation. Of course, the popular yantra used in Devi worship is Mahameru Sri Chakra yantra. Is indeed the representation of all that exists in the universe at a macrocosmic level and also in the microcosmic level. So the bindu is the central point, focal point of this Sri Chakra yantra, which is symbolically, it's a representation of cosmic spiritual union of Shiva Shakti. We say Shiva Shakti Aike Bhavana, it is said in Sanskrit. So the Sri Chakra yantra also, it has a lot of it's basically, if you look at it, the outer circle, it is surrounded by, it looks like a lotus petal. Okay, so why the lotus petal is shown also, I'll tell you, because lotus is symbol is used here in any of the yantras, because it has the symbol, it represents the symbol of purity, and it is also a multi-dimensionality is represented, like rose petals also. Rose, no, you have a lot of petals. Similarly, in lotus, you have a lot of petals. So between rose and lotus, both are used in linear diagrams, and it also influence and multifold expression of the spirit or the energy. If I give you a common man understanding, I can say the output energy you will feel when I said multifold or manifold or multidimensional. I can say like it will give an exponential output, an increment of energy between input and output. It will be exponential, so we can have a good output. So as per the ancient legend, in fact, Lord Shiva is said to have revealed around 64 chakras along with their mantras to the world to attain various spiritual and material benefit. In fact, for his concert Devi, especially for Devi, he has blessed a chakra or yantra, which is known as Mahameru Sri Chakra yantra, which is what you see on the picture. And it is the highly coveted and most powerful with Sodasakshari mantra. That's what I said. No, there are some mantras and bijas written, which is called a Sodasakshari mantra, is there, which is equivalent to all other 64 chakras or yantras put together. And of course, we need a proper understanding of this system of worship, which will lead us to Brahma Vidya. That means to attain the knowledge of Brahman. So that is why it's called a Brahma Vidya, or attainment of supreme knowledge, whatever it is. So the Devi worship hence involves, along with this yantra, not only yantra is involved, there is a mantra involved in it, there is a tantra involved in it, along with the yantra. So what is mantra, tantra, and yantra? Mantra, we know it is mystic words or text from Vedic sacred books. And Tantra is basically the doctrine, like how a theory behind how a machine operates, how a apparatus operate. Similarly, how a yantra operates is through a tantra, which is nothing but a doctrine revealed to us by a lot of saints and sages. And of course, the yantra is the basic, the machine or a diagram which act as a machine here. And if you see how it is multi-layered in this picture, you can see a multi-layered uh, yantra which has 9 layer with all looks like a small triangles around. Okay, which totally it talks about the 64 principles of Devi worship. So like that, no, you have a different type of one is yantra is shown. What you are now seeing in the picture is a 3-dimensional picture. Initially, what you saw is on a plane surface, on a flat surface. So that which is drawn on a plain surface on a silver or a gold or copper plate, whereas this is made in a metal in a 3-dimensional way. The top portion, or which is the center part, which is the focal point, which represent the Aikya Bhavana of Lalita Tripura Sundari or Parvati Parameshwara, the Aikya Bhavana of it. So the output, I said, of course, it requires a whole session to explain what is the process involved in thing. In fact, if anyone could, I don't know how many people are aware that every Purnima day on a full moon day evening in our temple we perform this puja, and it is elaborately called as Mahameru Navavarna Puja. And in fact, the next full moon day falls on Monday, so you will be able to see in the evening we perform this. So people who have witnessed this will be able to understand. I can also show there is another picture which is taken at 9,000 feet high at Oregon desert in Iowa state, which was made in a massive thing. It is so it was actually the totally in 13 miles it was carved across a desert. So that's about a great thing about the Mahameru yantra. So that is why it is actually to the Devi puja where the yantras are used has been very elaborately discussed in Devi Bhagavatam or Devi Mahatmyam or Chandi Pata, Chandi Homa. There also it is explained Sri Vidya Tantras and Shakta Sampradayas. Everything, the entire Devi worship emphasis on yantra based worship than a picture or murti or a vigraha. It is all avyakta based.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. I mean, you went through all the 7 different chakras. You talked about the yantras, and you also tied it back to Devi worshipping this particular yantra. So as we spoke about the Devi worshipping with Sri Yantra, we would also like to know how about Sri Sudarshana Chakra in Vaishnavism.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you have taken a good this thing. Like yantra in Devi worship, there is a chakra used in Vaishnava path. Okay, so which is popularly called as Sudarshana Chakra. So Sudarshana Chakra is basically a divine discus attributed to Mahavishnu under the Vaishnavism principle. In fact, Rigveda refers to this Sudarshana Chakra as a wheel of time or a wheel of sun's chariot, whereas that is about a Vedic perception in a wheel of time. Like we say, in the Surya Chakra, it has there are 7 horses, and there is a wheel which represent one wheel represent the 7 days of a week, and another wheel represent 365 days of a year. All those things, Rigveda very clearly explains about that. They also calls it as a Surya Narayana Chakra or Surya Chakra, like that, which is the same concept is adapted by Vaishnava principle as a Sudarshana Chakra. Whereas the Agama has depicted it as a Ayudha Purusha, where it is not Avyakta but in a Vekta mode. That means it is used as a Purusha, Ayudha Purusha. Purusha means a real image picture kind of thing, which they say as a chakrayuda. They also call it as a chakrayuda or an astra, which is held in the hand of Lord Vishnu, basically to distract demons and things like that. Similarly, if you see in the Tamil culture, it is referred as a Purusha. Like I said, Ayuda Purusha, it is referred as a Chakrat Alvar. Of course, we have heard about only 12 Alvar, is it not, in the legend? Whereas Sudarshana Chakra is also depicted as one of the Alvar, and it is called as Chakrat Alvar. That is why you find in temple, Sudarshana is shown as Sudarshana in one side and then Narasimha on the other side. Now let us look at like Veda, how it is depicting, Agama, how it is depicting. Similarly, if you look Ramayana, so Vishwakarma is the one who produced the Sudarshana Chakra at the request of her daughter Sanjana. But there is a very detailedly explained how a Sudarshana Chakra has been created. Also, there is another legend which talks about Lord Shiva, like in the Yantra, I said, no, Lord Shiva revealed 64 type of chakras and yantras. One such chakra, Shiva revealed to Mahavishnu with pre-invoked. He gave a chakra to Shiva, which is with pre-invoking 5 Shaktis. Like we always say, no, in the Sankalpa, like Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, Anugraha. So these 5 Shaktis or energies embedded into the Sudarshana Chakra, and he gifted that to Lord Mahavishnu. So this is basically, he said, Vishnu can use it for creation purpose, for sustenance purpose, or for dissolution purpose, or concealment purpose, or for bestowal of grace. So any of these 5 function, Lord Vishnu can use this chakra. So that is why we call it, one of the legends say, Chakra Vyuha, they say. Chakra Vyuha means you have to apply the chakra for any of these 5 functionalities. So which is known as Chakra Vyuha. Similarly, in Pancharatra Agama, so where I said, no, like how you see in the picture, the Sudarshana is depicted with either 4 hands, bhujam, or 6 or 8 or 16 or even 32. So that many bhujam or that many hands on one side, and then the other rear side you will find Narasimha also is being there as per the Pancharatra Agama, the thing. Of course, there are other Puranas like Garuda Purana, which talks about the tantric aspect of the Sudarshana Chakra or Sudarshana Yantra. Basically, to attain empowerment and to defeat enemies, they use in the Garuda Purana reveals the tantric method of using the Sudarshana Chakra. Similarly, in Mahabharata, you will find this Sudarshana Chakra is not only attached to Lord Vishnu, it also have attachment with Lord Krishna. So Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita talks about the Sudarshana Chakra, which was held by Lord Krishna. Everyone must have heard about this story of how Lord Krishna in one finger lifted the Govardhana Giri mountain using this Sudarshana Chakra. As I said, no, Sudarshana Chakra can be used for multiple purpose. So Lord Krishna held the entire Govardhana Giri to safeguard the people. So like that, the Sudarshana Chakra has got various application in Vaishnava principle. But again, there is a very popular this thing saying fire ritual involved using the Sudarshana Chakra, where very oftenly we perform in our homes and at temples and things like that, basically for to attain a purificatory rituals, or to restore fresh energy and health within us, or to win over a competition, or to win the enemies, or to destroy evil and negativities. For all this purpose, Sudarshana Homa is performed. And in fact, in our temple, it's a 3 days program is being performed. Since yesterday, today and tomorrow, one can witness the Sudarshana Mahayajnam is being performed. So you see the photo of what is happening there in the Yagashala, in the outer circle of the temple. So we can keep talking about Sudarshana. Of course, this also requires a whole day to talk about the process involved, how a ritualistically you utilize the Sudarshana Chakra for a 5 purposes, either to create or preserve or distract or concealment or bestowal of grace. So you can put this Sudarshan Chakra for different usages at home or at your workplace or at temple. So
Okay.
that's about Sudarshana Chakra.
Sudarshan
Thank
Chakra.
you.
Thank you, Uncle. So could you also explain about mandalams?
Yes. I think during the yantra time itself, I said yantra includes chakras, mandalas, and astras. So I think initially I was also explaining about a circuit diagram in a main board. What I explained is only on the top portion of the uh, motherboard, where you have a lot of components embedded uh, or soldered around the board. If you look at the backside of the circuit board, you see a drawing or diagram where you will find all the components are soldered or connected with each other. So that means, in a similar way, a mandalam means where it is mainly applied is to they draw the same diagram or a drawing or a mystical images are drawn for it is drawn instantly. That is why mandalams are basically an instant geometrical formation. Whereas the other one, like yantras and chakras, they are all prefabricated. Whereas mandalam is not a prefabricated one. It is made instantly and for a purpose. And after the purpose is over, it is destroyed. So mandalams are basically drawn instantly with certain geometrical configurations that may use as some symbols, and it focuses on every mandalam is focused on a desired divinity to be invoked for worship for that day or for that purpose or for that rituals. Okay, so once the rituals are completed, I said it will get cleared off. So, like I told you about avyakta and vyakta, there is also another thing called as instant vyakta or avyakta. So, it is for normal, this thing, it's called a kshanika avyakta murti. Kshanika means for that moment, for that purpose, or for that day, or for that instant. So, there is that is known as kshanika, the kshana. For that kshana, for that instant, you create an avyakta murti, instantly created formless form. Of course, here it is, there is no form, but it's a formless form which is avyakta. If you create a form, for example, in turmeric powder we make, which is also an avyakta murti in a conical formation, is it not? It is no real image or picture, it's only a representation. So those are all avyakta murti which is made, created only for that purpose, and then it is formless form of any divine energy in an abstract way. And of course, not only our faith, every other faith adapts this concept, and the patterns are formed or drawn on a normally like in yantra and chakra, they draw it on a metallic surface, whereas here they may draw it on a plain surface, on a floor, on earth surface, or on a wooden surface, or sometime even on a metallic surface. And then what they use to draw is they use a rice grain powders or sindoor or kumkum or turmeric powder or even a dry sand uh, or even clay, and such other natural ingredients or powders are used. Of course, now in the modern days they also use chalk powders and several other color powders are used to draw the pattern. So you see different kind of things. See this what you see in the picture is used along with basically for a puja. This one is particularly for Devi puja, especially like Lalita Tripura Sundari Deepa puja. We use this kind of mandalam. See how it is drawn. After the rituals are over, these mandalams will get clear. So like that, you find. So this is another. For example, they popularly use this mandalam, which if it is permanently done, it is called as then yantra. When it is drawn in this way, it is called as mandalam. So this is used for Bhagavati Seva, and this is used for the especially on Naga Panchami day, which is going to occur in the month of August, and they draw a Naga Panchami day. They draw this to invoke the Nagaraja, or Naga Devi and things like that. So for performing a ritual on that particular day, Naga Panchami day.
Okay.
Like that, there are different mandalams are used for instant purpose.
For instant purpose. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Uncle. So tying back to our main topic for today's session, you kind of touched upon chakras, yantras, mandalams. So this is going to be a much more broader question. Could you explain if the usage of signs and symbol is just specific to our faith system, or is it very common to all the interfaith systems?
Oh, it's very good. Like during Mandalam, I said, no, lot of faith community, faith groups uses the sign and symbol. It's very common. It is definitely used by all the faith. Maybe we can look at one or two example now with this question. See, these are all is when I said Avyakta Murti concept, formless form way of or sign or symbol for a common man understanding, there are these kind of mystical diagrams in some form or other have been always used by all faith, and it has been always part of our heritage, human heritage. Okay, and it makes us basically the purpose of using the sign and symbol form is to make our understanding of any logic or any concept very easily and very quickly. We can understand the concept very quickly by looking at the formless form or a sign or a symbol. Let us focus one or two such signs and symbol which are commonly used by various faith system, even though the concept may vary from faith to faith. I may use a particular symbol which is common to my faith, but another faith may use a similar sign or symbol, but for them it represents something else. Okay, now let me consider due to its popularity a sign which is seen across the world by many, and one among that many is none other than the swastika, which is considered very auspicious for certain faith, and it's also considered controversial to certain other faith system. So that's why I was talking about swastika, which is very popular. And if you look at the Vedic text or epics or Puranas or legend, or even a lot of archaeological findings, even modern arts and craft, and even organizations, they use this similar to swastika as their logos also. And most of the faith organization have included the specimen of swastika. Even though each faith may not use the same form or same way, but the concept, the specimen, has been used by all the faith groups across the world. Like how we use yantras and chakras and mandalas. Basically, this is used with a good intention, because to convey some concept, to convey some logic, to convey some idea also. For that purpose, these signs and symbols are used by all the faith. So let us look at how swastika is conceived by Hindus or Sikhs or Buddhists or Jains across the globe, and how they uses it in their daily life for the sake of auspiciousness, of its auspiciousness. In fact, Japanese Buddhists, they named the same swastika as manji in their language. So we call it as a swastika, they call it as a manji, but it in an inverted mode. Okay, but for them, it communicates as a sign of good things, and not only that, it is a sign of a temple. To represent a temple, they put a swastika sign in an inverted side. So in Japanese language, it is manji, and manji means it represents a temple or it's a sign of good things. Similarly, if you look at the same swastika, but with slightly tilted towards left, is named as Hakenkreuz or a hooked cross in German language. But they claim it, of course, their concept or logic behind this, it's a sign of the cross of their Lord, of their the main supreme Lord, or it also represents their symbol of their belief system. So if you look at in our faith, the root word for swastika which you can derive from the Sanskrit language, as swastika always occurs frequently in all the Vedic texts, as well as in the classical literatures. Of course, the communication that it gives is it means a peace for us. It means a goodness for us. It represents wellness. It represents auspiciousness, and it not only that, it also represent health, luck, success, prosperity, good fortune, and so on. I can give a lot of this thing. Let me give one or two example, like what you see in the picture now. Okay, so we have different kind of Vedic text and other texts. Like for example, you take swasti vachana or a shanti mantra. So in the swasti vachana, you will see like here it say this is basically a shanti mantra. Swasti na indro vriddhasravaha, swasti na pusha vishwavedaha, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु, which is popularly used. Every sentence by sentence you will see the root word swasti is used. Not only that, even in our swasti vachana, where it is used for greetings and blessing by priests, they always use this in the any ashirvadam or blessing. They use swasti prajabhya paripalayantam Nyaye namarghe namahim mahisha. This we used to see this always in any blessing by any priest. So it is used as a Shanti mantra. That means for a peace mantra, which is known as Swasti, represented in a symbolic way. Now, similarly, let me take a Kamik Agama perspective of our Swastika. If you take Agama chapter 41 and also Sri Kashyapa Shilpa Shastra, it talks about the construction guidance. It guides us how a construction has to be made, whether a temple construction or a dwelling unit construction or a palace construction. It talks about various type of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And it also talks about various puja mandalas. Then you see what kind of construction. This is basically a ashrama which is constructed in the form of a swastika. Similarly, you will see another. This is swastika is used as a in Agama Paddhati. It talks about Ashtadravya Mangala materials. You will find 8 materials. You see the last one. You also see swastika. So these are all like chatra or kumbham. All those things are. Similarly, you see it in the asanas, various asanas and postures. You will see in the third one from the top on the right side, you see swastikasana. Even in the yogasana, there is asana called swastikasana. Okay, so if you see the second picture here, which is known as swastikasana. So the swasti name, the swasti concept, the swasti in a different form, we use it everywhere in every allied disciplines. So similarly, if you see, the nakshatra, out of 27 nakshatra, Swati nakshatra is represented in the form of a swastika. Okay, so like that, if you keep going, it also represented through our rangolis and kolam. You will see swastika sign is being used. Even in Mehanti, you will see swastika is being used because it represents the auspiciousness. Similarly, you take logos. In various organizational logo, they use as in artwork. You see the wooden art or metallic art everywhere, whether it's construction. Now you see even in the dance form, swastika is being as a posture in the dance form. You see this. Similarly, in the dance, one of the posture, you see in the second row, first one, it's called a swastikasana. Of course, here it is in the form of a dance. A dancer will show different things. So swastika is used in several things. Like I talked about chakra, used for even for 5 different energy, like Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, Anugraha. So that means any chakras or yantras can also be used for good purpose and also for negative purpose. So we have to properly apply it. So here you will also see, similarly, swastika is used for good purpose. They are also used as an evil aspect. Okay, that's why it is shown in this form. Similarly, you will see There is another one which I can specifically talk about, the symbol like swastika, a star, okay, which is comprises of triangles. Okay, the star is said to bring good luck, like how swastika for peacefulness, auspiciousness, a star symbol represent a good luck and abundance and prosperity, and not this people told. It's all revealed by sage Agastya himself. Agastya revealed this star symbol to be to represent good luck, abundance, and prosperity. In fact, predominantly you will find the star symbol is used for Lord Kartikeya. That's why here you see Om Saravana Bhava, the Akshara, the Bija, the mantra is inscribed. Like in the Yantra, I said, no, there will be a drawing, mystical drawing, there will be a inscription of mantras. So, like Kartikeya, now even for Shiva, they use this chakra for Shiva and Shanmukha. Like how in the Navavarna Puja, they use Shiva Shakti revelation. Here it is Shiva and Shanmukha concept is also our. It is also, if you see the Varahi Yantra or Kala Bhairava Yantra and Mrutyunjaya Yantra, everywhere you will see the star sign or star diagram is used. Of course, like I said, the Sudarshan, you will also see yes, lotus petal or a rose petals are used in the outer circle to represent abundance, to represent exponential output of energy, because it has got lot of petals, like rose as well as lotus, both have got. That is why they use in yantra, they use the rose picture or a lotus picture. Not only that, now so many other symbols. Now let me even talk about in a Jewish faith. You will find the same sacred symbol. Now you see it in kolam and rangoli, we use star signs. And now coming to the other faith also, like I talked about swastika, other faith uses. Similarly, here star, it's a very sacred symbol for Jewish faith. They call it as a Star of David, and the claim that it to be a personal symbol for every Jewish people. Also, it represents their nation, like how swastika represent a nation in Germany. Here it represents the Jewish nation. That's why they have incorporated this star in their national flag also. So it is inscribed in the national flag. So like that, star symbol is used. Now, to give an example of another this kind of symbols, you will see, any fire rituals involves a homakundam or havan kund, where you will find lot of formation of homakundam. You will find homakundam in a circular form or a semicircular form. Circular is called as vriddha kundam or ardha vriddha kundam, or square shape or triangular shape or rectangular shape, pentagon shape, chatur konam or pentagon, panchakonam, hexagon like shat konam, octagon like ashtakonam. Like that, you will find a star, a type of homakundam, oval shape, yoni kundam, then the lotus shape, padma kundam. Like that, every deity, if they invoke, there is also that kundam also is used based on these various geometrical formations. So like that, we can keep talking more and more about various sign and symbols and geometrical formations. All are basically for a good purpose, for good intention, and for avyakta mode. So those our faith system talks about a murti concept in a formless form, or semi form. So that is why we have a Misram form also. Misram form is a formless form, Vyakta. That is why we have deities in a physical manifestation form, like a human form. We also have a Misram form, that is half human and half, see here in the picture, you'll see so many type of homakuntas. And you find a Misram form like, half human and half animals. And you also see like in Yantra form or Chakra form or formless form, Lingam, Shiva Linga form. All those are all Avyakta forms. So we need for each of this, whether it is on the Devi Puja or Sudarshana Yantra Pujas, we need separate session to discuss. Maybe let us also address if there is any question by the audience, if at all there is something.
Yeah, I don't see any questions in the audience, but if any of the viewers on YouTube or Facebook have any questions, feel free to comment on the streamline, and we'll be happy to answer those questions.
Okay, thank you then.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Sivachariar ji. I appreciate for today's learning session, which was our main focus today was mostly symbols and signs in Hinduism, and I think we had a really good discussion. So
in between, suddenly one question is coming, like any relations to chakras and temple? Yes, the construction of a temple, as I told you in the Agama Shastra, also in the Kashyapa Shilpa Shastra, the whole temple, including the vimanas and gopuras and prakaras, parivaras, all are confined to certain pattern, certain discipline, certain geometrical formations. Basically, like how I said, there is a focal point, bindu, to radiate the ultimate output, the energy. Like in a machine, even though machine has got so many components, but you have to give a power input or a fuel so that all the components connected to each other produce some output. In the same way, a temple construction also produce a cosmic energy. From the focal point will be is called as Moolasthana or Brahmasthana or Garbhagraha, which is the focal point in any temple. So that is the Bindu point. So from where the energy radiates across the the vicinity of the temple. So definitely there are different chakras. Not only there are also yantras which are installed when the deity is pratishtapana is done. Underneath every murti, you will find an yantra is being inscribed on a gold or copper or silver plate and are placed there so that it can help radiating the cosmic energy in an exponential way, in a manifold way. Okay, so same concept is used in temple, whether it is chakras or yantras or mandalams, everything is used both at home and also at temples. And not only that, even in government establishments, in palaces, in organizations, everywhere, there is an involvement of chakras. Even every company logo represent a kind of sign and symbol. No, every organization, when the brand name or the logo of every organization represent a sign form or a symbol form. By looking at the logo, immediately you get. Similarly, every country has got a national flag. National flag is nothing but a cloth, but something designed on the flag. But if you look at the flag, it's connected to that country. So national flag is a sign and symbol represent that country. That is why it also it's a avyakta concept. So we feel about the country, the nation, by looking at that's why we also pay respect to the flag when it is hoisted, when it is raised. There is a ritual also involved in doing it.
Yeah, and I think tying back to the yantra under each idol, correct me if I'm wrong, Uncle, but I think we rejuvenate this yantra every Kumbhabhishekam.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah. So that's and also a very important thing that the temple performs this in every Kumbhabhishekam.
Yes. Thank you. I think
those are all the questions I see in the chat room today. Okay. So thank you so much, Sivachariar ji, and thank you to all the viewers today for tuning into Learning Series 59, Symbols and Signs in Hinduism. Before we end the program, I would just like to remind the viewers on some of the forthcoming events at the temple during August 2023. On Monday, August 21st, we have Naga and Garuda Panchami. And on August 25th, Friday, we are performing the Varalakshmi Mahalakshmi Vratam. And then Anubhava 2023, as I mentioned in the beginning of this program, will be participating and embracing a a conference for young professionals on ethical values by exploring the timeless lessons from Srimad Valmiki Ramayana in this contemporary world. You'll be listening to some scholars such as Professor Vishwa Adluri, Professor Joydeep Bagchi, and Krishnan Ramaswamy. You're allowed to raise any questions to the panel members, and the program is scheduled for August 26th, Saturday at 1 p.m. at Parvati Hall. And then we have Lakshmi Narayana Hridiya Homam, which will be performed on August 27th, Sunday. And then we have Rig Upakarma on August 29th, Tuesday. And we have Yajur Upakarma on Wednesday, August 30th. And then we have Gayatri Japam and Homam, which will be performed on August 31st on Thursday. To end and conclude this program, I would like to remind all the viewers and who have kids and who would like to participate in Ganesh Pathashala, the registration is open right now. So parents can register their children of kindergarten to grade 12, and we will hope to enroll all the kids to learn religion, bhajan, slokam, chanting in various languages that the temple offers. If you have any further questions, please feel free to comment on the streamline. And that's all I have for today.
Yeah. Thank you, Divya.